Welcome to Know Your Money, where we will explore our relationship with money and how the psychology of it impacts our financial decisions, as everyone thinks about money differently. In our podcast, we'll be presenting a variety of financial topics in an easy-to-understand way, which we hope will assist you with managing your money.
Hi, I'm Craig Finch, co-owner of Growth Financial Planning, an independent financial planning practice, and I've been a financial planner since 1986.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bronwyn Waner, co-owner of Growth Financial Planning. I'm a certified financial planner, and our philosophy at our company is to grow yourself to grow your wealth.
Hi, everyone. My name is Warren Grimsley. I'm a director at Rogue Media and help facilitate this wonderful podcast. My main goal here is to try and understand what these two lovely people are saying so that we can all understand.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Know Your Money. Back in the studio is Bianca, who's been giving us some incredible advice around marriage and money. She is from D is for Divorce, and she is a coach and a confidence coach just to help you understand that we are all humans and we're just trying to act human to human. Bianca's philosophy is so much about mediation and trying to let people see both sides of the party. And today we just wanted to talk around spousal maintenance and how to make that picture pretty for both sides, plus the children, you know.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, B.
Hello, hi. Thanks for having me back, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so spousal maintenance. Yes, right. So as we discussed in a previous episode, right, we've got two kinds of maintenance. Maintenance for kids and then spousal maintenance. Now, the maintenance for kids is automatic. That is, every parent has a responsibility towards maintenance. Spousal maintenance is not automatic. Spousal maintenance is something that you will have to apply for or fight for, okay? And it's where the higher earning party will have to pay a monthly amount or a lump sum amount. It can be structured however it needs to be structured, right? You can say, oh, I'm going to pay you X amount and you can leave me alone. Or if you go, whatever you do with it is your problem.
Clean cut.
Yeah, clean cut. It's better that way, I would say. Or it can be a monthly amount that you pay for a certain period of time. So 6 months to a year. And the courts will take into consideration various factors in determining spousal maintenance. So duration of the marriage, the longer you've been married, the more likely it is that you're going to qualify or obtain spousal maintenance, right? The earning capacity of the parties. So if you are a stay-at-home mom and you have kind of sacrificed your career to support your spouse, then you will be granted spousal maintenance, right? For a limited period of time. So if you're in your 30s, for example, you've been married for 10 years, they might give you spousal maintenance for 3 months, 6 months, a year to allow you to get back on your feet and start earning.
Even though you were never earning, what happens?
Sure. Depends on the age, right? In your 30s, you can start working. You can find a way to get back on your feet. Again, it depends on every divorce you structure according to its own personal circumstances. So some might even agree. Some parties can agree to say, well, I'll just keep you living in this lifestyle for 10 years, 20 years until
you get married again.
Oftentimes it's until you get married again, right? So a lot of times spousal maintenance is leveraged against, but you have to stay single because I'm not going to be paying for you if you're going to be dating somebody else, which is fair.
I think that's fair.
I think that's really fair.
Absolutely fair. And I don't think it's you have to stay single. I'm going to look after your lifestyle until you find someone else that you can go into a life with and carry on. Sure. You know, they can make that decision.
But that's also difficult because, I can date independently. Yeah, I can have somebody and have a great lifestyle and you're living in your house and I live in mine, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's difficult. That's where conflict comes up.
You can see why this is such an emotional thing because you're not with that person and you still got to pay for that person.
100%.
And then what's the longest that you could pay for?
The rest of their lives.
But spousal maintenance, like by court order. So
it has to be by court order.
That one, for the rest of your life, they make that decision. How does the courts decide?
She could fight for it, right? She could say, I've been married for 25 years. This couple who've been married for, I think it was 42 years that I heard of recently that are getting divorced. And so she's in her 60s and they're like, well, you need to pay. She's been staying at home, taking care of children and, so
and how long does he have to pay for?
Until she passes away or he passes away.
Or until her circumstances
change or at any point with maintenance, right, you can go back and revise. Even with maintenance for kids. If your circumstances change, you have an obligation to go back to court. So let's say, God forbid, you are retrenched and you have to pay maintenance. You have to go back to court and say, listen, I've been retrenched. I need to have this amount varied.
Yeah.
And the same
Okay.
would be with spousal maintenance. Let's say you've agreed to it. So, for example, with my settlement agreement, right, we agreed that he would pay my medical aid for the rest of my life. Then his circumstances changed. He had 2 kids, and I was like, okay, listen, that's not really fair.
Yeah.
You can just pay for the kids for the rest of their lives, and I'll take care of my own.
Sure.
Okay, because again, this is somebody that you have had a life with. You respect them in certain respects, and you've got to be fair.
Yeah.
That's the reality. So a lot of people find themselves stuck in marriages because they're concerned for their financial freedom or their financial well-being, right? And actually it is, if you go to domestic violence courts, financial abuse is actually something that is recognized, right? Somebody who uses finances
sure.
against somebody. So I think a lot of people stay in unhappy situations for 2 reasons: financial well-being, but also you think it's better for the kids. And that's not actually the case.
I think you said earlier in another episode that men will often weaponize the finances, women will weaponize the children.
Yes.
I think that there are men out there who stay in toxic relationships because they are worried about the weaponization of their children.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to not be able to see them. Does that happen?
Absolutely. And it is disgusting and it's terrible. And
An unhappy home. all
sure.
around.
And it's
Terrible.
worse for children.
'Cause you
That's
feel it.
absolutely worse. You know, kids.
As a child, they know what's going
absolutely.
on. Yeah.
And to have an unhappy mother and an unhappy father is
Terrible.
worse for the kids. They feel such a tremendous amount of pressure to,
Correct.
oh shit, I have to make sure the kids are okay, the parents are okay, and I have to behave a certain way. And at the end of the day, you take out your emotions on your kids, right?
Yes.
Because you take for granted that they're always going to love you. So that's definitely, and I think one thing to understand is that contact and maintenance are 2 separate issues. Just because you don't pay me maintenance doesn't mean you don't get to see your kids.
Yeah.
And just because you don't see your kids doesn't mean you don't have to pay maintenance.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You cannot say, oh, I'll only let you see my kids or the kids if you pay maintenance. No, sorry for you. That doesn't work. That's not how it works. It infuriates me. That makes me very angry because just do better. Just really do better because you're not helping your children at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating.
So Bianca, back to when the payment settlement on the spousal maintenance, and let's say you come to an agreement for a lump sum.
Yes.
Can you use your, let's say the marriage regime was accrual with no assets initially.
Okay.
So everything's going to be split.
Yeah.
And there's obviously the partner won't have any extra. Can that partner say, I'll take that portion of my accrual benefit?
Sure, you can do that.
You can do that.
You can agree to settle it however you want to.
However you want to, okay.
It's only if there's conflict that you then go and rely on your ANC.
Yeah.
So you can say, I mean, it's a decent thing to do. Somebody stayed at home and they have supported you in your career and they've taken care of. I mean, there's value in that. It may not be monetary value, but to come home and know that things have been taken care of and your kids have been well taken care of, like there's value in that. And you lose sight of that because of your ego, whatever the case may be. But
ego.
at the end of the day, ego is the worst, right? And then also you add emotions to that and you're just in for a bit of a shit show. So I think, if you can just manage that, it's about your children and it's just about mutual respect for the other human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make the other person feel cornered.
Sure.
If as soon as you corner someone, they're going to fight.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or they won't and they'll just submit and then you end up walking away with even less.
That's just as bad, yeah.
So, it's a very difficult thing to do. And you do find that men are staying in circumstances because of they don't want to lose their kids, as you said, and also women are staying because they don't have financial freedom.
Yeah.
So for me, if you are in a situation where you can't financially afford to get divorced, then start putting a little bit of money aside, consider doing some kind of side hustle, start making a financial path for yourself or reach out to people who can help you with that.
So I came from a divorced family as well, and a lot of years and years of unhappy marriage with my folks, and eventually they split up, and it was a welcome relief when they split up because the house was calm again. There was no conflict in the house.
Sure.
And my dad left, and we didn't, as my sister and I, we had animosity towards him, because he caused that kind of thing. That's what we thought.
Sure.
And my mother, throughout the whole process, she just said to us, he is your father.
Absolutely.
You love him as your father.
Sure.
Never mind what happened between the two of us. And that was brilliant advice from her.
Incredible.
Which caused us to have a very good relationship with our father.
Amazing.
Because your mother put you first.
But also it's two separate relationships, right?
Yeah, correct.
You can be a really terrible spouse, doesn't make you a terrible parent.
Yeah, that's right.
And And why wouldn't you want that for your kids?
Yeah.
I would. I mean, again, I've been divorced for 9 years, right? My ex left when my kids were 3 months old and 16 months old, right? So and I want them to be adults to say, I actually have a great relationship with my dad and my mom.
Yes.
And to keep your side of the street clean. Your kids are going to grow. You may think it's cool now to manipulate them and try and alienate your co-parent. They're going to grow. And when they get to 23, 24 and be like, but why did you keep my dad from me? Why didn't you let my dad see me? Or why didn't you help my mom financially?
You will reap what you sow.
Your karma comes back through your children, right?
And I must say,
kudos to your mom. That's incredible.
And I must say my dad as well, because they were married when the old regime was no cruel. So the house was in my mom's name because he had his own business.
Okay, so
and he didn't blink an eyelid. He said that I provide a home for my family, my kids, and he walked away from it like that. And that was incredible. So probably two mature adults with a bad marriage.
Exactly.
No ego in the room.
Exactly.
That helped us, my sister and I,
navigate
grow through that.
Yeah, love that.
Bianca, thanks on that note, talking about how two adults should be adult in the end of the day, and hopefully that both spouses can see that the other one has needs, and they both, as you say, initially I think when I met you, you said two families are joined together to make it better for both families.
Yeah.
That's one of the tensions of marriage, and
Absolutely.
let's hope you can be both mature enough to, even though the divorce can be very hurtful for both parties.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much, Bea. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this podcast, would like to subscribe, please visit our website, www.growthfp.co.za. The information we have provided in this podcast is our personal opinion. For more detailed information, please discuss your financial situation with a financial planner.